Let's see if it's here yet. We're gonna refresh. See if we got anything new. Ah, all right. Bokrad, your wish has come true. It is Nasus. Oh, and he stacks. I can already see that he stacks. There's a new keyword called slay. They put in his stacking. We can tell. We already know that they put in his stacking. Oh god, that's hilarious. All right, one second. All right, here we go.
I walk through the ages.
Ooh, that's a good voice. Oh, he's 6. Oh, wow, that's rough. He's a 6 mana 2/2 with fearsome. Ouch. Oof. Oofy. New keyword slay. Nasus fearsome. I have +1/+1 at. Oh, for each unit you've slain this game. I guess we don't know what that is. I guess we don't yet know what slain precisely means. You get credit for slaying an ally or enemy if one of your cards kills it via damage strike or direct kill effect. Oh, okay. So anything that you do to kill something, Nasus gets +1. Every time you kill an enemy with anything, Nasus gets +1/+1. Hashtag counters the Shadow Isles. Cool. Very cool. All right. Okay. But not obliterate, right? That's different. Okay. Bakai Reaper, 1 mana, 1/2. When you slay a unit, grant me 1/0. Okay.
Comes of mortal greed. Punishment if I serve as an example.
Oh, you can slay your own units. That's interesting.
Judgment awaits.
Okay, we got a Siphoning Strike. An ally strikes a unit. If it dies, grant allied. Wow. An ally strikes a unit. If it dies, grant allied champions everywhere +2/+2. Wow. That's a good card right there. Bop! Get that Tom Kench out of there.
Stretched out before me.
Ooh, that's a nice level up. All right. Leveled up Nasus. 3/3. So he gets +1/+1, as most champions do. He gets Spell Shield. Okay. He levels up to get Spell Shield. That's very interesting. I have +1/+1 for each unit you've slain this game. Enemies have -1/-0. So the leveled up Nasus. Oh, that's it? Oh, leveled up Nasus has Spell Shield, which is cool, right? This means that leveling up Nasus is like a combat trick. If someone wants to kill your Nasus and he's at 9 out of 10 to level up, like you shouldn't do that because they can just level him up to get Spell Shield. That's pretty cool. That's a cute little mechanic that he has. Just level up at the right time to give yourself a Spell Shield to stop him from being removed. That's neat. That's cute. And then I have +1/+1 for each unit you've slain this game, which is the same as before. Enemies have -1/-0, right? Which makes him harder to block because he's fearsome. That's okay, I guess, but that's it. That's the whole thing. That's all of his level up. Which I guess doesn't matter because he's still growing, right? Nasus is kind of like Victor. He's always getting bigger. He's just constantly getting bigger, regardless of whether he's level 1 or level 2. He's just growing and growing and growing and growing. So it makes sense that his actual level up isn't as impactful as a lot of other level ups. Also, he still has level 3. I mean, yeah, he still has level 3, but if he's anything like Renekton's level 3, we know that it's just ridiculously busted overpowered. Let's take a look.
Your spirit is hollow.
Mortals are ruled by their fear. Sure. And I can't block him. Alright, is this the level up animation?
The sun disk rises and the cycle is complete.
Oh, we can actually get a sun disk animation. That's nice as well.
The wheel never stops turning.
right, that one was not nearly as cool as Renekton's. That one was not nearly as good as Renekton's. It's still cool, but man, Renekton's was better. Okay. 6 mana, 10/10, just like the last one. I have +1/+1 for each unit you've slain this game. Enemies have -3, -0. Okay, no overwhelm, but -3. Yeah, yeah. But he also, damn, Renekton, yo, Renekton's way better. What the hell? I mean, this is like, in theory, by the time you get this, it could be like a 20/20. And Renekton's only a 10/10, but Renekton has overwhelm, so like this is good. Don't get me wrong, this is good, but it doesn't instantly win you the game the way Renekton does. Renekton like instantly wins you the game. And this only sometimes instantly wins you the game. You know, Renekton always does. He has Fearsome and Spell Shield though. Well, I mean, he doesn't, I don't think his Spell Shield refreshes. He gets Spell Shield at level 2, right? And if it gets popped, it's not like he gets a new one when he levels up to level 3, right? It's not like he refreshes it. It's, you know. So if he has Spell Shield at level 2 and at level 3, all he gets is extra stats and -3, -0. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's a great blocker for Renekton. Don't get me wrong. That's actually a good point. He actually, like, level 3 Nasus is actually the only legitimate blocker you can ever have for level 3 Renekton. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Return to dust. I enter eternity with my face towards the sun.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Very, very, very cool. All right, we gotta wait 3 minutes before this will finish. Unless we set our clock forward, but I'm not gonna do that. So how big a unit do you have to be in order to actually block Nasus at level 3? Fearsome says only only units with power 3 or more can block. And Nasus gives level 3 Nasus gives -3 attack to everything. Oh shit, you actually have to block him with a 6 attack unit. Your unit has to be at least 6 attack to block Nasus, right? And we already know that Shurima runs lots of stuff that can take down attack power. Okay, Nasus might actually usually win you the game. Okay, maybe Nasus actually does generally just straight up win you the game. Okay, maybe he's actually a lot closer to Renekton than I thought. Fearsome generally is not nearly as good a keyword as Overwhelm, especially when your stats are huge like that. But you're forgetting Exhaust and Might exist. Yeah, Exhaust exists. Exhaust is the much more important one out of those two. Exhaust and Quicksand and a bunch of other things. There are other spells in Shurima that just weaken enemies' attack. So actually, if you level up Nasus and then just like Quicksand their biggest unit, the only unit that can block him and then swing in, you should win, right? You should win that game just as much as Renekton would. Yeah. Okay, so he should be about, he actually should be kind of on par with Renekton. Renekton's gonna be better, but leveling up Nasus to level 3 should still be a game-winning play generally. Also Might, well, I mean, yeah, you can also put him with Might, but if you want a 10/10 with Overwhelm, just run Renekton. You don't have to stick Nasus with Noxus just to build your own Renekton. You don't have to pair him up with Noxus just so you can build a slightly worse Renekton. Whirling Death Nasus. Whirling Death Renekton. Hey. Ooh. Whirling Death. Yo. Oh. I hadn't thought about that. Whirling Death on Renekton actually sounds really good. It levels him up. Yo. Renekton plus Whirling Death actually sounds spicy. Wait a minute. That actually levels up Renekton. If you attack with Renekton and you Whirling Death something that he's not attacking, he levels up in 1 turn. He levels up on 1 attack. Hello? That sounds good. All right. Let's see if there's new cards. There are new cards. All right. Let's see what we got. Nasus, 6 mana, but I don't know exactly how big he's gonna be. He's 2/2. if you assume you play him on curve, if you assume you play this guy on turn 6, I have no idea how much health, how big he's gonna be in most games. I'm gonna estimate like they showed in the trailer that they played him as a 6-mana 7/7. That probably seems kind of about where he's gonna be, depending on the type of deck you're running, and depending even more on the type of deck you're going against. Oh shit, let me turn my music back on. That's the thing I see most about Nasus is Nasus is going to, his viability and his ability to level up is going to be difficult depending on what type of deck you're going up against, right? If you go up against a ramp deck, or you know, like an Anivia control deck, and a deck that doesn't play a lot of units, the only way you're gonna get this is if you're killing your own units, right? The only way you're gonna get these buffs is if you were specifically in Shadow Isles and you were running a bunch of stuff that kills your own stuff. And what we saw from this new keyword here is it's not even, you get credit for slaying an ally or enemy if one of your cards kills it via damage, strike, or direct kill effect. If one of your cards kills it via damage, strike, or direct kill effect. Do you get credit for your own ephemerals dying? Does ephemeral striking the Nexus, say for instance you played a Shark Chariot, right? You attack with Shark Chariot hits the enemy Nexus and dies. Does that count as you slaying it? Is that a direct kill effect? Is Shark Chariot killing itself considered a direct kill effect? If you squint, I could see that being considered a direct kill effect. I'm going on record as no, that doesn't work. I get the feeling ephemerals hitting the Nexus and dying will count, but ephemerals trading with something won't count. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting, right? Like if you play Blighted Caretaker and kill, like, you know, a Cursed Keeper, great, Nasus gets 1 stack, and then you have 2 saplings. You attack with both saplings. The saplings, you know, attack 2 things that are bigger than them. They die to the things that are bigger than them, and you don't get any stacks because the saplings didn't kill themselves. They got killed by your enemy's units, right? Your opponent got credit for slaying those saplings, not you. That's the feeling I'm getting. But honestly, it might not even be that. He might just not count ephemeral at all. I suspect ephemeral will count towards slaying, but we don't know that. We don't actually know that. That's just the feeling I'm getting. Okay, so you might, if that's true, if ephemerals do count towards slaying, you're probably gonna have, you know, Nasus's best deck is probably gonna be with Shadow Isles, but we honestly don't know. We're gonna have to learn a little bit more about this slay mechanic before we really decide that. So what I'm saying is relying on killing your opponent's units doesn't seem very good. If you have to kill opponent's units in order to get Nasus to be big, then Nasus will really struggle against control decks, and that's pretty unfortunate. All right, level 2 Nasus gets Spell Shields, right? Which is a cute little mini game. That's a little mini quest, right? If you can sit at 9 without slaying anything, and your opponent like, your opponent's like, oh god, I have to remove Nasus before he levels up, and they try to kill him, you can give him Spell Shield, and that's adorable. But considering he doesn't really get anything when he levels up, I doubt that'll be the case. People will just sort of know. People will just sort of know that they have to play around a leveled up, you know, the Spell Shield on an almost leveled up Nasus, but it's not like they have any incentive to really kill him. Like if you're going up against a Zoe and the Zoe's at 9, or not 9, I mean, if they're at 9, you can assume they're already done. If the Zoe's at like 7 out of 10 for the level up, people are gonna want to kill that or try to. And if they fail, you know, if they shoot a mystic shot at a level 1 Zoe to try to stop her from leveling up, and you level her up anyway, they're like, shit, I wasted removal. But for Nasus, you have no incentive to do that, right? Because when Zoe levels up, there's like this game-winning token you get, and when Nasus levels up, nothing really changes. Enemies just get -1, -0. That's not really, you know, that's not really anything that your opponent's too terribly afraid of. Meh. All right, and then level 3 Nasus. It doesn't get any new keywords, does not get any skill, unlike Renekton. Renekton got a huge skill that just board wipes every time he attacks or blocks. Nasus doesn't get that. He gets enemies have -3, -0, which means it's incredibly difficult to block him. If you're running the right package in this deck alongside of Nasus, he will be nigh impossible to block, and he should win the game 9 times out of 10. Frostbites stop him. Frostbites actually stop both him and Renekton, right? So Frostbites are actually a way to not die. You know, a really cheap way to not die against these freaking level 3 Ascended. So that's pretty interesting to keep in mind. We should all note level 1 Nasus and level 2 Nasus absolutely hate Hush. Hush absolutely destroys both level 1 and level 2 of Nasus. Level 3, not as much, but still a little, you know? That's a little rough. So keep that in mind. Hush is Nasus's biggest fear. Does slain equal killed? Yeah, so slain equals anytime you kill an ally or an enemy. If you're the one who killed it. If you run a spiderling, into a, you know, into a 5/5, that does not count as you killing it. If you sacrifice a spiderling to Ravenous Butcher, that counts as you killing it, right? So that's the difference. Okay, and then we got his champion spell, Siphoning Strike. Slow speed spell, an ally strikes a unit. If it dies, grant allied champions everywhere +2/+2. Wow. So this is really interesting. He doesn't just stack himself, he actually stacks other units. He actually stacks other champions as well. That's pretty cool. That's an interesting card, but it's not, you know, this has nothing to do with actually playing Nasus. This is just a spell you can actually put in your deck. That's pretty cool. This is going to be cool with cards that are not Nasus. That's a very cool card. Also, I just realized that Nasus actually only levels up when he strikes for 10+. Yeah, he levels with striking. Yeah, I just noticed that as well. Nasus levels up when he strikes. So what I was saying earlier about how, like, trying to play that mini game with Nasus and Spell Shield, that doesn't work unless you have a single combat. Unless you're running him in Demacia and you have single combat, right? Exo was saying that? Exo did say that. I'm sorry. Yeah. You right. Demaglio. So yeah, so that's the same thing. If you're in Demacia, that's sort of the same thing. If you can get him up to 10 attack and then play a single combat, that's like the same thing. You'll just get him a Spell Shield. But in most cases, unless you're in Demacia, there's not a lot of ways to strike at fast speed. So yeah, that whole little Spell Shield minigame I was talking about only works in Demacia, actually. But again, it hardly matters because no one, if they want to remove Nasus, they can remove him at any time. You know, it's not like they need to remove him before he levels up. They can just remove him later, you know. My point is, he's only a slightly bigger threat when he's leveled up than he is when he's not leveled up. It's very similar to how Vi works. It is the same. It's actually literally the same level up requirement as Vi. He just doesn't have Challenger. He has Fearsome instead. And more health. I mean, he's got way more health than Vi, and that's a good thing. Okay. Siphoning Strike. An ally strikes a unit. If it dies, grant allied champions everywhere +2/+2. You can compare this to Concerted Strike that does less damage but has an upside, right? Concerted Strike has 2 enemies strike, and this one only has 1. So if you have a really big unit, you can say that this is just as good as Concerted Strike. except you get a buff if it works, right? If your opponent can't answer the concerted strike, you get value. Wait, you can strike your allies? Oh my god. I mean, yeah, I suppose you could spend, I mean, I suppose you could spend 5 mana to make Nasus smack his own dude, but I generally wouldn't want to do that. Also, this is slow speed. This is slow speed. That's a good point. Concerted Strike is fast and this is slow, and that hurts. That hurts a lot. I'm not sure why this has to be slow speed. I feel like it should be fast. That's rough. That stinks. That makes this card a little worse. Considerably worse. All right, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Let's keep going. We got Bakai Reaper. We saw this in the trailer. 1 mana, 1/2. When you slay a unit, grant me +1/+0. When you slay a unit, grant me +1/+0. And he's got fearsome. Man, there's some fearsome support coming in this expansion, guys. When you slay a unit, grant me +1/+0. In the right deck, this can get pretty big. In the right, those of you who play a lot of Shadow Isles will know that is a worse Bark Beast. I mean, Bark Beast doesn't have fearsome. And grant me +1/+0. I mean, this in theory could be like a 6/2 with fearsome. In the right deck, right? Oh, he can stack. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He stacks a lot. He stacks a lot. I would definitely not say that this is just a worse Bark Beast. He can get big. He can trade out. It's a 1-drop that can trade out with something really big if your opponent's not careful. We've seen lots of things like this. Generally, though, we've seen things like this in dedicated decks, right? Like the Star Spring, the Star Shepherd is a 0/3 that has an effect like this. But you can only run it in a deck that like has lots and lots of healing. You can really only run it in a Star Spring deck. This, I feel like, can be actually just sort of stuck in a bunch of different decks. What kind of deck never slays a unit, right? None. Every deck slays lots of units. So like this is a super easy requirement for +1/+0 over and over again. I feel like it's not bad. I feel like that's not bad. And he's got fearsome. Sure. Cool. Why not? Decent 1-drop. Rampaging Bakai. What's a Bakai? What the hell is a Bakai? Anyway, 5 mana, 4/6. Play skill. If you have slain 4+ units this game, if you've slain 4 or more units this game, an enemy and I strike each other. Oh. Play. If you've slain 4+ units this game, I single combat an enemy. Sure. A 5 mana, 4/6 that comes in with a free single combat. Yeah. No, that's a good card. No, that's a good card. No, hold on. No, that's a good card. This is definitely a good card. If you can get that slain. If that slain requirement is easy, and I think it's not that hard, this is certainly a good card. Oh, Bakai is a failed ascendant. Zerath is a Bakai, but an overpowered one. Okay, those who are deemed unworthy turn to Bakai. Ah, thank you for the lore insight. I did not know that. Okay, so yeah, this is a 5 mana 4/6 that can just kill something. This just enters the field and kills something. This is a great answer to Twisted Fate. This is a great answer to Aphelios. This is a great answer to, well, not Fiora. Fiora actually probably would just riposte and then, you know, get stacks off of this. But most champions, right? This is a great answer to your opponent's small champion. You know, this kills Elise. This is a good card. This is certainly a good card. Cool. All right. Ooh, this thing is big. Sanctum Conservator, fearsome, 8 mana, 8/5 with another play skill. If you have slain 13+ units this game, 13. Okay, that's a lot. I mean, it comes down on turn 8. This one might need to be with Shadow Isles. Slaying 13 units. I don't feel like most decks will play 13 units by the time you get to turn 8. In fact, that's definitely true. Most decks will not give you 13 units to kill. Even if you killed all of them, your opponent will not provide you with that many by turn 8. So you're gonna have to start killing your own stuff in order to get this. All right, if you've slain 13 plus units this game, kill all enemy followers, then summon a copy of me? What? Okay. Okay. And here it is. Here's the skill, Conservator's Judgment. If you've slain 13 plus units this game, kill all enemy followers, then summon a copy of me. That's not the Ruination. No. This is not the Ruination. This is kill all enemy units, leave yours alone. This is this thing just freaking casts the Skies Descend. This is a Skies Descend. Yeah. Oh, it's only followers. Oh, okay. It's only enemy followers. Okay, this will leave their champions. Okay. Not quite as good as I thought it was. Kill all enemy followers. Then summon a copy of me. So it leaves their champion, which often will be their most important unit. That hurts this a bit. This is still probably gonna be a really good card. We're gonna have to monkey around with this. We're gonna have to experiment with it. I can't see it. The only way this card is bad is if getting 13 slain units is hard. That might be hard, and we don't exactly know how hard that is, because we don't know how Slain works with ephemerals. We don't know how Slain works with it's probably just ephemerals, but we don't really know how to evaluate how easy it is to slay a certain number of units yet, right? Riot does. Riot has tested this, but we haven't tested this, so we have no idea. We have no idea how hard that is. So we'll have to monkey around with this. How difficult is it to get 13 slain units by turn 8? How difficult is it to get 13 slain units ever? Like even if you have to wait until turn 10 to play this, that's still a bananas effect. You just have to have it enabled by the time you need it, right? So like, this is probably gonna see some play. Probably is like a one-off in some decks, maybe a two-of. But it looks cool. It looks cool as hell. Okay. Moving on. Spirit Fire, 7 mana burst speed spell. Okay, expensive burst speed spell. Give enemies -2, -0, and round end deal 2 to me this round. Hold on. Wait. Doesn't this kind of play only play Cursed Keepers before this is played? There you go. Nocturne Go, Awooga. Ah, well, yeah, actually. Nocturne Go. Yeah, Shurima seems to be giving us quite a lot of fearsome synergy. Which is interesting. So if I'm reading this correctly, give enemies -2, -0 this round, and round end deal 2 to me. This at burst speed, mind you. I keep thinking of this as a slow speed spell. This is burst speed. Okay, all right. So actually Nocturne Go. If you can attack level up Nocturne and play this all in one turn, you're actually in a great spot. That actually does go really well with Nocturne, sort of. I mean, the round end deal 2 to me doesn't help Nocturne at all. This would be better if it was only like 5 mana and give enemies -2, -0. That would be a lot better for Nocturne. So I don't think this is quite designed for Nocturne, but it's not bad. The problem I see with this card is it seems to be doing the opposite of what Nasus wants to do. If I'm reading this right, if you give enemies an effect that makes them kill themselves, you don't get credit for slaying them. Right? Am I right in understanding that round end deal 2 to me means if it kills itself with that 2 damage, I don't get credit for slaying it because it killed itself and my opponent gets credit for slaying it? Am I right? Am I right in understanding all that? No, you granted them the effect, but you get credit for slaying an ally or enemy if one of your cards kills it via damage, strike, or direct kill effect. Pretty sure they killed themselves. I'm pretty sure if I cast this on give enemies -2, let's say a Legion Grenadier. If I cast this and my opponent has a Legion Grenadier, right, which has 2 health, the Legion Grenadier deals 2 to itself and dies, and the game says, okay, Legion Grenadier dealt 2 to Legion Grenadier, Legion Grenadier slayed Legion Grenadier, credit goes to the owner of Legion Grenadier. Spirit Fire did not kill it. Legion Grenadier killed it itself. No. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it would work. But Spirit Fire dealt the damage? No, Spirit Fire did not deal any damage. No damage was dealt by Spirit Fire. Spirit Fire made it deal damage to itself. Because it granted it an effect that says, I deal 2 to myself. Deal 2 to me, right? Give enemies, I deal 2 to me. So I'm pretty sure this doesn't stack Nasus. This does not give you slain credit, which makes it pretty weird. This is a strangely designed card. Obviously, we'll have to test it, but unless they seriously changed around some game logic, I imagine that this does not give you slain stacks, which is strange. Okay, moving on. I guess we should evaluate it too. Give it -2 and round it and deal 2 to me. 7 mana to do that is really pricey. This is sort of doing 2 opposite things at once. It's giving you an ability to get in with your fearsomes, and it's also clearing the board. But those 2 things are not, they're sort of redundant, right? Because if you're giving time for your fearsomes to go in, usually that's like a game ender, right? That's a game-winning play you want to make. And the fact that, you know, if you failed, they die anyway, it doesn't generally matter. I don't know about this one. Maybe it's okay. I don't see it though. It's a control card? I'm not sure what it is. Maybe. I guess you could look at this as like when your opponent's attacking, you play this and then all their units hit you less and then they all like die afterwards. I guess it's a really good anti-attack card. Like, no, slow there, buddy. That's a cool open attack you got there, but I need you to slow your roll. Like, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, okay. That seems a bit better. This seems a lot better for like stopping an open attack, but it still seems awfully expensive. Maybe, maybe it's fine, but meh. Okay. Rite of Calling, 0 mana slow speed spell. Okay, this is literally 0 mana. Kill an ally or destroy one of your mana gems to draw a champion. To draw a champion? Ooh. Kill an ally or destroy one of your mana gems to draw a champion. That's a good card. Hold on a minute. This would be better if it were fast, but you know, this would be busted if it were fast. To draw a champion. The fact that this costs 0 mana makes it pretty good. Like, you can sort of, like if this card costs 2 mana, I would say it's not very good. I'd say it's a pretty bad card. Okay, so Hapless. I mean, sure, yeah, obviously you're gonna use this on something small, like a Curse Keeper or a Spiderling, or you know, if you're not in Shadow Isles, you can use it on, you know, your weakest unit. The point is, you can wait. You can hold on to this card until your opponent taps out, right? Like, kill an ally to draw a champion is actually a little risky, because if you play 0 mana, if you play this card and your opponent Mystic Shots the thing you're trying to kill, you don't draw the champion, and that sucks. But you can wait. You can just hold on to this until your opponent taps out below whatever the removal is, and then you can be like, psych, I can never tap under this, it costs 0. And you play it. I'm telling you, Thresh Nasus. Let's keep reading. This card seems really cool. The fact that you can use this Like you can tap out, you can spend every single point of your mana, you can spend every gem and play everything and sort of entice your opponent to do the same. And if your opponent taps all the way down to 1 or taps all the way down to 0, you can just play this and you know it will go off. It's a slow speed spell for 0 mana, but you still know for certain that it'll go off if your opponent's at like 0 mana, right? So that's pretty cool. It's just 0 mana, turn something small into a champion in your hand. Sure, not bad. Not bad at all. I like that card. All right, Weight of Judgment. 4 mana, slow speed, deal 2 to a champion or 7 to a follower. 4 mana, slow speed, deal 7 to a follower. Imagine the fast level ups for Swain with Weight of Judgment. I mean, have you seen the fast level ups for Swain with Avalanche? This is nothing compared to that. Deal 2 to a champion or 7 to a follower. So this is kind of just 4 mana, kill most followers, kill almost every follower unless it's Captain Farron, right? Or a Celestial. I mean, there are some Celestials that can survive this, right? Actually, isn't it just Great Beyond and Immortal Fire? If it's Great Beyond or Immortal Fire, this won't kill it. Literally almost every other follower that sees play will die to this. Okay. How many? All right, so removal generally with removal, you want to be using it on stuff that is more expensive than it. So the question is, how many followers are out there in the meta that cost 4 or more that you see often? How many 5, 6, 7 mana followers are around in the meta at any given time? Will answer the question of how good this card is. I'm gonna say meta dependent. I mean, also it's 4 mana to kill Twisted Fate if they have no buffs, which right now it never happens unless it's Twisted Fate Fizz, right? If you're going up against Targon with Twisted Fate, don't even think about it. This will not kill Twisted Fate. This will deal 2 and they'll Pale Cascade or some less vigor and they will save him, so don't even think about it. But against followers, this might be okay. This might be okay. That might be all right. All right, and then the last one, the very last card. It can't kill a Thrall. You're right, it cannot kill a Frostguard Thrall. That is a good point. That is a good point. That will become relevant. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts this card a little bit. At least for whoops. At least for the first couple of days of the expansion, this will not be able to hit those 8/8s and kill them. Actually, although it would put them in range of Ice Shard. Actually, using this on an 8/8 makes Lysandra kill them if they have leveled up Lysandra. It makes it so they can't play their Ice Shard, so it might actually be fine. Meta dependent. I'm gonna say that one's meta dependent. Okay. Last card, Ruinous Path. 2 mana, slow speed, draw 1. If you've slain a unit this round, drain 2 from the enemy nexus. Ooh. Oh, but that's all it does. It's just 2 mana to drain 2. Maybe. And then draw 1. Why is this slow? Why does this need to be slow speed? Can't this just be burst? No. It needs to be slow so that you can't just kill your opponent with it. So this is basically just... Are you serious? Yeah, I figured it out. Yeah. This has to be slow so that your opponent has the chance to heal in response. I get it. That is a control Doom Beast. This is just Doom Beast without the body. This is just a free Doom Beast proc without the Doom Beast body. And it replaces itself in your hand. It's a control Doom Beast? It's a Doom Beast that'll go in control decks? Maybe. Yeah, that card seems pretty okay. Ruinous Path, 2 mana to just do a Doom Beast and draw a card? That seems very okay. That seems very okay. In the right deck. Like, obviously not every single deck under the sun is gonna want this, but a lot of them are. I think there are several deck styles that are going to want that card. That's cool. That's a cool card. Whew, that was a lot. So what do we think? What do we think overall? Nasus, overall, Nasus seems not bad. Nasus seems okay. 6 mana to play a, you know, an 8/8 or a 10/10. I guess you should evaluate him sort of as like a 10/10, assuming he levels up. He's like he's at least an 11/11 whenever he levels up. And then if you run him in a Sundisk deck, you have the chance of getting a 20/20 ish that has fearsome and like is incredibly hard to block because of this effect. Okay, yeah, I think Nasus is gonna be pretty okay. He's awfully expensive, but he's gonna be a good card. Rampaging Bakai is the other one that I think is definitely going to be good. This guy is definitely going to see play. Sanctum Conservator is the one I'm most excited about. He looks the coolest, but this I know this says Shurima right here, but this is a Shadow Isles card. this is a Shadow Isles card. You need to run this with Shadow Isles, I think, or a super control deck, one of the two. Rampaging Bakai is great. Bakai Reaper seems decent. It's hard. That one's for me kind of hardest to, well, no, actually Spirit Fire is the hardest to evaluate, but I think Bakai Reaper is probably going to be fine. He's not going to be like super broken or anything, which honestly might mean he doesn't see play. It is entirely possible that Bakai Reaper is fine, and fine is not good enough for a 1-drop. You have to be busted as a 1-drop in order to see play as a 1-drop. That might be the case. You know, he's no Bark Beast. It might, you know. So that one's probably gonna be okay. Siphoning Strike, so this is removal, right? Siphoning Strike is removal that if it works gives you a bonus, but it is interruptible, right? If you use Siphoning Strike and your opponent uses like Frostbite, ouch, you know, like that's 5 mana that got countered by Flash Freeze. That stinks. But if it goes off, if this works, if you kill something with Siphoning Strike and your champion gets, and all your champions get +2/+2, that's a huge deal. That's actually a really big deal in a lot of decks. So like, this is spooky. This is something you have to be able to play around if decks are running it. I think this is a really strong card. I think this is a really strong card that is counterable. This card is certainly counterable, but it sort of requires being countered, right? Because if this happens, if this ever works, that's devastating. Your opponent loses a unit that they needed, and all your champions get bigger for the rest of the game. Oof, that's a good card. Okay, that's a good card. That demands an answer. Okay, that's a good card. Sanctum Conservator, I'm not sure if it's a good card, but I'm excited about it. Spirit Fire seems to be the only card here that I can't see being good at all. I'm guessing ephemerals count as slaying. We're not sure. Nobody knows. I think they would if the ephemeral trigger is actually what kills them. If you strike the Nexus with an ephemeral, or you strike something that can't kill an ephemeral with an ephemeral, and it kills itself, I imagine that counts. But if your opponent just deals your ephemeral's health in damage, if they just kill your ephemeral with damage, I think that doesn't count. That's how I would imagine, but we'll have to test it. The only way to know that is to actually get in game and monkey with it and see what happens. If I attack with a Shark Chariot and they don't block it and it kills itself, I imagine that counts for you slaying. If I attack with a Shark Chariot and they block the Shark Chariot with anything that has any attack and the Shark Chariot dies, I think that doesn't count. But we don't know that. But we don't know that. Imagine Blighted Caretaker. Right. Well, Blighted Caretaker will only kill one, right? Because the saplings will not kill themselves. They'll get killed by whatever they challenge. Right? Blighted Caretaker should only get you one slay. If you're right, that'll also give them a reason to block the ephemerals, which is lose-lose for them. I mean, that's true. I mean, that's true. That means ephemerals are getting value either way, either be from being blocked or not being blocked. It's true. It's a good point. All right, Spirit Fire. If they slay the challenging enemies, that's true though. Actually, that's true because Blighted Caretaker can get credit for slaying the challenged enemies as well. Okay, yeah, Blighted Caretaker should generally get you 3 then. But I mean, you should assume that all units your opponents play will be slain by you, right? Eventually, most units that your opponents play will eventually be slain by you, right? All Blighted does is accelerate that. It doesn't actually add anything, right? If enemy units die, you should assume that they were slain by you, unless it's Shadow Isles. Right? Who else would slay their own units? Like Nasus occasionally. Like Noxian Fervor is something where they slay their own units, but like generally if an opponent plays a unit, if it dies, you will get credit for slaying it. Generally. Okay. So Spirit Fire, I don't see Spirit Fire. This one's gonna be weird. Maybe there's a deck that wants this effect a lot, but mostly it seems that Nasus ironically doesn't want this. He doesn't want the second half, right? Nasus would love to give enemies -2/-0, that's great, but he doesn't want to give them deal 2 to me because that's like one of the only ways in which you won't get credit for slaying them, which is strange. Not sure about that one. Not sure about that card. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's something that makes this really good that I just don't see. Maybe there's a card that already exists or a card that hasn't been revealed yet that makes this good, but I don't... Or like a deck archetype that I haven't thought about, but I don't get that one. All right, Rite of Calling. This looks great. Kill an ally to destroy... kill an ally or destroy your own mana gem to draw a champion. I don't think you're generally going to want to destroy your own mana gem. I think you're almost always going to want to kill your own unit for this. Generally? Unless it's like the end of the game. If you top deck this on like round, you know, mana 9 or mana 10, I mean, sure, you just destroy a mana gem. Actually, that's really good. That actually makes this better. If you top deck this, you just play it, you destroy a mana gem at like the end of the game because it doesn't matter then, and you just draw a champion for free. That actually makes this even better. This is a very good card. Rite of Calling's a good card confirmed. Okay. Weight of Judgment, deal 2 to a champion or 7 to a follower. Damn, Rob, you've been rambling about this for at least 15 minutes. I have been recording. I'm actually recording right now. I've been recording this video for 48 minutes. It's gonna be a long video, guys. We're almost there. We're almost through it. It's about to be over. Weight of Judgment, deal 2 to champion or 7 to a follower. Meta dependent, right? This is gonna, if you can kill big followers with this, if there are big followers that can be killed by this reliably, then this is gonna be a good card. If not, this isn't gonna see much play. And then Ruinous Path. I think Bokrad was right. I think control decks, maybe mid-range decks, are gonna want this to like help themselves not die. This is good. This is a decent not an anti-aggro tool because this doesn't help you stop units, but it's a good anti-burn tool, right? This is a good, please stop burning down my nexus, please stop decimating me, you know, kind of tool. Might be okay. I can see Ruinous Path being okay. We all know how strong Doom Beast is, and this seems to be like similar to Doom Beast, so probably a good card. All right, that's it. That's all. That's my whole ramble. We can be done now. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.